Hey, what's going on everybody? J-Mac here. So today's video is going to be on the Helltooth Harness set dungeon and how to complete it with the mastery. And mastering the set dungeon is basically completing all the objectives and killing all the monsters within the set dungeon before time runs out. And if you just do one objective within the dungeon, you're going to get this banner sigil reward. And then here's the achievement for Tooth Master mastering the set dungeon. And if you do all the Witch Doctor set dungeons, just one objective in each, you're going to get this pennant. And then if you master all of them right here, you're going to get this one. And then if you really want to get into the whole set dungeon thing, you can do the set dungeons for all of the classes, and there's going to be some nice cosmetic wings as a reward for doing that. And it's kind of a nice way to get us to play other classes we may not normally play casually. You know, you don't have to spend a ton of time on, say, a monk or a crusader or something that you may not normally play. Maybe you're primarily a wizard player, you know, whatever. So it kind of gets us to play some other classes, maybe add a little bit of longevity to the next season by getting us to do some other different things that wasn't previously in the game. Alright, so first things first, where do you need to go to find the set dungeon? So the Helltooth Harness set dungeon is going to be in the Royal Crypts in Act 1. So you just port here, and it's tucked way in the back. So basically you just run through the entire zone back to where the Skeleton King entrance is, and it's going to be tucked back in the corner back there. So we're just going to run through all these dudes. Show you guys where this is. So here it is right here, just tucked back in the corner. And let me go and clear these guys real fast. So when you click on it, it'll tell you the objectives. So objective 1, kill 20 enemies with a single wall of death 4 times. And then objective 2, do not take any poison damage. And then once you complete all objectives within the time limit, the mastery will be complete. You cannot die or take fatal damage, so Spirit Vessel is a good idea pretty much always when you're running these. So first off, obviously you got to have the 6-piece Helltooth Harness, right? So that's the first thing you want to go for. The second biggest deal gear-wise when it comes to this dungeon is the Mars Kaleidoscope. You put this on and it basically just negates one of the objectives. You're never going to take poison damage, and that is really crucial to do this properly. You could do it without it, I'm sure, but it would be much, much more difficult. So at that point, you're just trying to kill all the enemies. I think you need to kill like 200 and some enemies, I believe, once you go inside. And then you need to kill 20 enemies with a single wall of death 4 times. And the easiest way to do that is to not run any pets whatsoever. Go ahead and dismiss your follower, and then really just stack tons of toughness so that you don't take fatal damage, and just run through the rift and just gather up 20 mobs. Drop one single firewall, and the mobs in here really don't have any toughness hardly at all. They have like no HP. So one single firewall with just mediocre damage should take care of 20 mobs very easily. And that's really all you got to do. And we'll go ahead and jump into it, and I'll show you guys mechanics wise what you should be doing. But that's really the gist of what you're trying to do with this. Alright, let's talk about some item combinations that are going to make your life a lot easier when doing this set dungeon. Now again, all you have to have is the 6-piece Helltooth, but there's a few item combinations and abilities that are going to make it much easier. One that I really like is the Engiom, because there are elites and champions to kill within the set dungeon, and then the new revamped Severance Spirit Walk that gives you 100% movement speed while in Spirit Walk. As far as the other abilities go, Soul Harvest Languish is really nice for more armor. Again, it's really more about toughness in this rift than anything else, just to make sure you're staying alive as you're running through. And then from there, the Spirit Walk, again, I like Firewall the best just because it stays on the ground for 8 seconds. So even if you lay it down and some mobs aren't in the firewall yet, you can kite them over to it before the duration ends and still get that 20 kills with one firewall that you're trying to get. Hex is nice just after you've grouped the mobs together to kind of keep them in place. The Zombie Charge is really there just to kill the elites and champions quicker, although you could probably just go with just Firewall as your damage dealer and be totally fine. I like Horrify as well to keep the mobs in place, and it gives you 50% more armor with the Frightening Aspect rune. And that's really about it. As far as passives go, you really want Spirit Vessel to make sure that you're not dying, get that second life. And as far as the rest of the gear goes, two things I'd recommend not running are Grin Reaper, because the mimics will cast firewalls for you and potentially screw up trying to group mobs together. Also, the Henry's Perquisition Kitty Cat Mojo, I tried to run that a bit as well, which you would think it'd be pretty good because you're trying to run through the rifts and group mobs together without dying, but it ends up charming enemies, and you'll leave enemies behind at times, and so it kind of screws things up. So I switched to Thing of the Deep after a couple tries with the Henry's Perquisition, just wasn't that good. So anyways, guys, I hope this helps you, and if it did, don't forget to like and subscribe as always, and check back for future set dungeon guides. Again, we're going to do, at the very least, all the Witch Doctor set dungeons, and I'll try to get to some other classes before the PTR ends. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.